Well, hello there ladies and gentlemen, I'm Philanthropone and I'm back with another top 3 video here, this time for the final month of the year, December 2017. I also wanted to say real quick to look out for my top 5 video for the best Vive games of 2017, which is a video I'm really looking forward to making and it will be a big one. Anyways, so without further ado, here are my top 3 favorite HTC Vive games for December 2017. Number 3, Orc Star. Unfortunately, I was a bit disappointed with my gameplay footage for this game because it's so hard to see what I'm doing since everything was so tiny. So sorry about that, but I have to be honest, I almost didn't even make a video for Orc Star at all because it was a space strategy game. And mainly, with my experience with those type of games is that they have super steep learning curves and I just don't have the patience to learn them mainly, but Orc Star is different, and thanks to a pretty decent tutorial, it was quite easy to pick up and play. And I will warn that if you're looking for a VR RTS with very deep gameplay mechanics, then you might be disappointed with Orc Star, as it's missing some crucial RTS elements such as an economy system. But the gameplay is a blast if you ask me. The goal is to command fleets of ships to conquer planets, asteroids, warp gates, and more. Once a planet is conquered or captured, whatever you want to call it, ships will be automatically produced for you to increase the size of your army. The most crucial gameplay feature in order to do this successfully, in my opinion, is the ability to choose what percentage of ships you would like to move from planet to planet. Oh, is that what this is for? I think? To send 50% of your troops. That's pretty sweet, actually. I remember the other game I played had something like that, but I think you had to just like drag a circle around the number of troops you wanted to take. But I can only assume that this percentage is the percentage of ships that will leave from one planet to the next, which is really sweet. The game also feels like a very complete package as it offers a campaign, skirmish, and multiplayer modes. The game currently goes for $14.99 on Steam. Number 2, Shooty Fruity. Shooty Fruity was a breath of fresh air because it was the first Vive game I've played in a while that was actually a complete game and out of early access when it launched, and it really is the whole package. The game combines job simulator-like and wave shooter type gameplay, and I don't really like to use the term wave shooter for a game like this considering that term has become rather derogatory in the VR community, because Shooty Fruity is a lot more than that. It's one of the most polished and complete VR games I've experienced, with super wacky, fun gunplay and some great comedic dialogue from a superior you hear over the intercom as you play a new employee at a supermarket.
Welcome to your first day as a Super Mega Mart employee. After a rigorous selection process, you have been selected from an extensive pool of excellent candidates. Your ability to show up vaguely on time and correctly write your name shows exactly the kind of drive and initiative we are looking for.
The levels usually involve performing job simulator-like tasks, while an onslaught of living fruit attempt to thwart your hard-earned progress. There are a ton of different weapons to unlock and tiers for each weapon type. Using the guns is rather hilarious as you don't even have to reload them. When you run out of ammo, the gun breaks apart and all you gotta do is grab a new one that comes by on a carousel rail. So for those of you who think wave shooters are too easy or job simulator games are too boring, try doing both of them at once and you're in for quite a challenge. The game currently goes for $19.99 on Steam. And number 1, Fallout 4 VR. When I considered Fallout 4 VR to be in this top 3 video, I looked past all of the double standards that people have applied to it. Yes, I know there are performance issues with the game still, but I made this pick with the assumption that the devs will patch the game and fix performance issues for those of us who were unfortunate enough to get the Windows 10 Fall Creators Update, which is a cause of massive performance issues with the game. But I said this with Doom as well. Could you imagine if this game wasn't called Fallout 4 and was some random indie game called Beantown Gets Nuked or something? Could you imagine the praise this game would get even in its current state? The game is totally playable, and we're talking about hundreds of hours of gameplay, which is unheard of in any VR story-based game. In comparison, there are amazing single-player story-driven games like The Gallery and Form that are beloved by many, and those games have 5 hours of gameplay or less. They also offer very little replay value, but guess what? Fallout 4 doesn't have any replay value because there is so much friggin' content that you won't ever need to play it again when you're through with it, most likely. The VR version of Fallout 4 features all of the content as the original, and one thing I was pleasantly surprised with was the controls and how well they work on the Vive. They definitely take some getting used to, but it's probably the best they could ever have dreamed of making them for VR, as the game takes full advantage of pretty much every single function of a Vive controller you can think of, and relies heavily on swiping the Vive's trackpad when operating the Pip-Boy, something that not a ton of VR games even utilize at all. Like I said, the game is totally playable in its current state, at least for me it is, and I'm running the game with no workarounds to aid performance. Let's just hope that the people over at Bethesda continue to work on improving the performance issues with this $60 Vive game, making Fallout 4 VR the most expensive Vive game ever to release. And that's it for this one, guys, and remember that I will be doing a top 5 video for best Vive games of 2017, and I'm looking forward to that. And as always, I'd appreciate it if you liked the video and let me know what your picks were for the best Vive games in December. So that's it, guys. Thank you once again. Until next year, peace.